minute. Who are you?
What's up, everybody? It's Evan Money, back again with JC the Blind Jedi.
Hey, everybody.
So, we're here with our UFC 257 review, and
Wow,
great card.
incredible card. Lots of surprises coming our way here on this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's
get into it.
Yeah, let's get into the meat of it.
Okay, so Marina Rodriguez versus Amanda Ibas. Now,
Yes.
we first want to apologize for butchering
Amanda's name.
name.
We're sorry. I should have known how, because they're both Brazilian.
Yeah.
And the Portuguese and Spanish. So we won't go there, but we'll apologize. Amanda Ibas, that's how you say her name. We're sorry about that. Now, we're also sorry how this fight ended. Wow. You know what?
First off, we were right in the first round. Ibas came out, looked really good. In that first round. Definitely looked like she was going to dominate the whole thing.
Controlled. I mean, literally the grappler had what? She was in top guard the whole time.
Yeah.
And raining down punches, ground and pound, really making it difficult for her. Then the second round came in, a little bit of stand up, and Marina caught her good, and put her down, and was punching her. And Herb Dean came in to check on her, and Marina thought the fight was over, walked off, and Herb looked and said, nope, she's still ready to go. Marina turned around and said, oh, we're still fighting, and still put it on her. Caught her with an elbow, and then caught her with a straight punch, and Herb said, no, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You're causing brain damage.
So bravo to Herb Dean for being, I mean, he's fought before, if you didn't know that, and he's one of the best referees in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
so bravo to him for recognizing that Ibas didn't need to take any more damage. That it was done. She wasn't going to be able to defend herself standing up, and she was out on her feet.
Her face was really, really puffy when they came back together afterwards, and they were doing the hugging and everything like that. Her face was all puffed up and everything like that. You could tell her face was swollen. Made the perfect call on that one.
Now, Rodriguez said that she feels like she deserves to be in the top 5 after this. I would disagree. I would say it was a very good showing, very dominant to show your stand-up, but you did get dominated on the ground. And you were technically the higher-ranked fighter in this fight. So,
you maintained your spot. This was a good enough showing to call for a top 5. I don't know. You give her 5? Who's 5?
Well, I don't. Looking at the rankings, I don't even know if you'd want to give her 5 even, because in between her and 5, you've got 2 people that would definitely say they deserve to be in the top 5, and Michelle Waterson and Claudia.
Gudea?
Yeah. See, we're horrible with names.
Yeah, I mean, they're popping up faster than we can remember them. Wow.
Honestly, if you, Joanna doesn't really have a whole lot going on. If somebody really wants to stake a claim to the top 5, that's not in the top 5 right now. I mean, that would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Carla Esparza would be a good fight.
Yeah, either of those two. If you want to, if you really want to call for it, that would be the way to go. Is to call out one of those two, because those two are title contenders. They're placeholders for the title.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think that they're like I said, you were the higher ranked fighter coming in, so there's really no reason for you to get elevated or move up. And then really, you showed that you had good stand-up game, but your ground game is definitely not ready. So,
for your next fight, Marina, I would suggest a lot more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and an American wrestling coach.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm switching hands.
Okay, so the next fight was the fight that got scratched for Otman Azitar. He broke COVID violations, cut his wristband off. There was this whole thing that Dana White was explaining how he had some guy scale 4 flights of
Balconies.
balconies, essentially to sneak him a bag or something. I don't know. He broke these COVID violations, and so he not only lost the fight, but he got kicked out of the UFC. He was released.
Completely bonehead move. Yeah, I mean you're undefeated. You're an amazing fighter. You have highlight knockout power, and
You're on a pay-per-view. You're getting pay-per-view money, and you blew it. Man.
And his opponent, Matt Frivola, fought. He did fight at the prelims for the main event of the prelims, and you could tell he was not ready for a change in opponent.
No, he was.
So not only did you cost us a good fight that probably would have been a great fight, but you also basically gave Matt Frivola a loss for really your stupidity. So
Yeah.
guys like this are probably never going to come back to the UFC. If they do, it's going to be a long time before Otman even gets a chance to come around.
Dana is not. He's not forgiving.
No.
No, he will give you every chance in the world, but the moment you screw up like this, dude, you're out.
Well, I mean, look at how long it took Tito Ortiz to get into the Hall of Fame. So that just tells you right there. But on to the fight. Andrew Sanchez
versus Mahmoud Muradov.
Yes.
Wow.
This was a very good fight.
Yeah, it had its moments. It was obvious that we had two really good guys in there. Andrew Sanchez was just a big old hospital. We were making fun of his haircut. He had a really bad mullet mohawk the last fight, and he came out this one with just the mullet and everything. We were making Billy Ray Cyrus jokes about it, but he was strong. He was a big hoss. He went out there and he put punches together. But Mahmoud Muradov, he was just a little bit better.
Yeah,
and
definitely you could tell Mahmoud had a little bit more put together of a stand-up game. Like I said, there was some lulls in the fight where you were kind of like, man, this is getting kind of hard to watch.
Especially when DC decided to make the Henry Cejudo show reference about the best karate stance. And everybody was thinking it, and he even made it. I was like, well, okay, what about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the karate guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Or we could even go even further. I could go Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
But still, no, Henry Cejudo, and that totally took us both out of the fight. We were like, ugh.
Yeah.
But in the third round, it picked up. Muradov hit Sanchez with this beautiful, beautiful sweeping right hook, and caught him and gave him the chicken leg. Andrew just stumbled.
He was stanky legging pretty hard.
Yeah, he was. He had lost all equilibrium. Muradov immediately sensed that and ran at him with a flying knee, caught him with a couple more punches, and then the ref came in and stopped it. That's it. He's been beat up too much.
Yeah.
And it was a well-deserved stoppage because he had been punching on him for a while.
Second fight in a row that the ref stops the fight while both fighters were standing
up, yeah.
Which again, good calls.
Yeah.
Fighter safety is definitely something you can't take lightly. Concussions are definitely something you don't want to mess with. And so I think both stops were good. For Mahmoud, he didn't call anybody out. Obviously, at this point, he didn't really expect to be probably on the pay-per-view, so probably wasn't expecting a big showing out of this. He did get a lot of love from Dana White, though, which was good. So,
yeah, he asked Dana to join his Instagram, and so Dana was like, "Yeah, sure." There was a little bit of a moment, and he had the translator come out, and this fight was for my daughter, and he had a really good showing. He was trying to do the interview in English. But, of course, what he wanted to say got the best of him, so they had the translator for him. But he did really well, and congratulations to him. Was this at middleweight?
This was at middleweight.
So, yeah.
Now, earlier on the prelims, we saw number 14, Brad Tavares, pick up a win.
Yeah.
I think Brad Tavares would be a good way for Mahmoud to maybe try and crack into the top 15. Mainly just because he did put on a really good show, and he was fortunate enough to hit a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So
I mean, so he got eyes. He got eyes on him. Yeah. I mean, if he wants to break in the top 15, that's the way to do it.
And it was an impressive win.
It was.
Like I said,
it was. He literally was fighting a big old bull in Andrew Sanchez, and he just kept on picking his shots and kind of hurting him and stabbing him and getting him, the same way a matador does take a bull down. He was getting him down, and finally he took care of him. So congratulations to him. Sanchez, he's got a little bit more work to do. The stand-up was there, and the endurance is definitely there, but he needs a little bit more refinement. And he got away from his game, which was he does do some wrestling, and he didn't do that, and it really showed because
he did land a good shot on Mahmoud before he got rocked, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah.
And fortunately for us, we were actually listening to Andrew's corner.
Oh yeah,
they had that happen, and they quickly cut his corner's mic
as soon as
he got hit.
As soon as he got hit, because it was
bad. It was bad.
It was bad. He did not look good at all.
But so yeah, now we're moving on. We're back on track with fights that we actually did predict. So
on to the next fight.
Okay, so on to Jessica I versus Joanne Calderwood. I was wrong because I thought that this would be something that you wouldn't get too excited about, but they really went after it. I mean, from the time the bell rang, they were going at it.
And I was wrong because I thought Jessica I was going to pull this out, and she did not.
No.
Wow. Okay, so Joanne Calderwood. Really, really good stand-up. They both came in, and like you said, they started from the very beginning. Like they started in a Muay Thai clinch and just dirty boxed almost for 15 full minutes, really.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where I tried some grappling. She got a takedown late in the second round, but did nothing with it. And I think didn't she get another one in the third, but didn't really finish it or something like that? Or
no, she was close. She was close. But she did, however, have almost 5 minutes worth of clinch control, but she didn't have the higher number in the clinch strikes, which was very ironic. You had all that control for 5 minutes and you didn't do anything with it.
Well, see, and that was really the story because Joanne was just busy.
Yeah. The
whole time. And then there towards the end of the third round, she was starting to light her up.
Yeah. A lot of good body shots from Calderwood. She definitely was using her Muay Thai advantage to her advantage in this fight. The knees to the body, you could tell were taking a lot out of Ai. Definitely affected her breathing a little bit. Speaking of Ai, she did have swelling around one of her eyes at the end of the first round. So definitely a good fight. I know we harp quite a bit on how the women's divisions are so dominated by the champions,
and the middle is so muddled. And we were just talking about this right before we started watching the pay-per-view. How we understand the top of the cream of the crop, but you get anywhere past 5 to 15, and it's really a jumbled mess. It's really hard to understand. But Jessica I and Joanne Caldwell, they did an excellent job. They put on a good fight. This was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man, Joanne really put it together to get the 30. She got 30-27 on 2 cards and a 29-28 on the third. So congratulations to her. She did have a title opportunity that Valentina got hurt and pulled out of. Oh, that's right. So she was asking if she was ready.
Looking at the rankings here, we've already talked about Kaylin Chukagian. That's a no. Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy, Jennifer Maya, Cynthia Calvillo. Again,
And Michelle Waterson's right there on the outside.
yeah. But I think if they put Calderwood up against Valentina, I think it would be an okay move. I don't think it would be a stretch. She already had a title shot, and it was taken away due to an unfortunate injury.
I don't. I mean,
But-
really.
And again, who else above her are you going to? I mean,
Nothing
I just
really.
named everybody
I
above
think it puts a nice, interesting mix before, because with Svechenko, she's a good name. She's out there. She's a champion, but I don't think her body of work is really right there. And something like beating Joanne would really boost. It would just be a notch in the belt.
absolutely.
It would just be, okay, I've got another stone on the belt to say that I've defended this championship before she goes up and takes on the monsters. Before she goes up and has to defend against Calderwood or somebody else going down at 125 and trying to,
Yeah. Pepper needs new shorts. Okay, so on to the co-main event: Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler, and
Okay, I so lost this one. Chandler, wow.
you want to put this on so you can take it off to Michael Chandler? Hats off to Michael Chandler.
No kidding, wow. Oh my
man.
God.
I told you.
Everything on this told me the moment they got into the ring and Chandler stepped back, I was like, oh no, something's not right. Hooker came in and he tried to keep him at bay, but man, Chandler knew what he was doing. From the moment you saw it in his head that he was just that much more, his mental acumen in the fight game was just that much higher.
You see this? This is a man who told you, and nobody believed me.
I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. Man, whew, boy, I have been really, really off tonight. Even my boy Joe, give him a shout out here. He's called more right than I have tonight. But man, that fight was something else.
Beautiful.
In the first round knockout.
Beautiful.
He caught him with that. He caught him in the stomach low, with the low right into the stomach, and he had done it a couple times, just kind of testing it. And Hooker never caught it, and he did this big sweeping left hook, just cleaned his clock.
Absolutely.
Just made that jaw.
Dropped him.
Dropped him. Hooker tried to hold on, and man, Chandler was just beating him up.
Now Chandler did look like he was about to go for a choke, but then he was like, "Well, it appears that Hooker was, still rocked." So he just sat there and just punched and punched, almost.
Hooker
like
turtled up so bad he was on the ring.
schoolyard bully punching him. Is basically what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, he
awesome.
just taking it to him, and the referee stepped in, and then he does a backflip off of the top of and then he calls everybody out in the interview. Has a spectacular interview. I mean, really.
Tells Connor that there's a new king in town. Tells Dustin he's ready for him too. And tells Khabib that if you're going to win number 30, you might as well win it against me.
Wow. I mean, and
so, I'm just saying,
the lightweight division is so exciting right now.
and it just got even more exciting. This
is that third season twist you never knew was coming.
Yeah. This right here takes Chandler and elevates him. It validates him, really.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't believe that he was going to be able to come out and do something like this.
I looked at him, and the moment they stood there, literally Hooker is at least a head taller than Chandler. And, Chandler, I was like, okay, no problem. I'm figuring he's going to get his reach. He's going to keep him at bay. This guy's going to try to grapple with him. It's going to be a long, slow, drawn out. Oh, no, I was wrong. Oh, my God. This guy was just a half step faster. And, man, that was just a lethal left hand.
Dan Hooker was so disgusted by his performance that he took his gloves off and threw them in the octagon.
Oh, wow.
They're saying, I hope he didn't retire. I doubt that Dan Hooker
I
will retire.
doubt that
He's still got a lot left in the tank.
He's a young kid, too, man.
But to lose like this, it's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It is absolutely embarrassing because Dan Hooker said, he's like, you might be able to take me down, but you can't keep me down. So he thought it was going to go to the ground too. And Dan Hooker got beat at his own game.
Man, brutally at his own game. Excuse me, I have to go eat some more humble pie.
Okay, so on to the main event. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Wow. First off, Conor looked great. He did not look like he had been off for a year. He didn't look like he had a whole lot of rust on him.
He looked solid.
He looked sharp.
Looked fast, quick, agile.
But unfortunately, in the second round, Dustin dropped him, gave him a TKO. Dustin, the whole entire fight, was working lower leg kicks, landing them really good. Conor,
by about the minute mark of the first round, I think both DC, of all the commentators were noticing how much damage was being done to Conor's leg.
Yeah.
And in the second round, it really slowed him down. And man, Dustin caught him. I think about in that last minute of the first round, Dustin caught him and pointed at him. He's like, "Aha, I got you." And from that moment on, that really that's when the momentum shifts. And man, that's a common theme about.
He definitely slowed down Conor with the leg kicks. Conor did, in the first round, land a beautiful knee to the body that almost sounded like Dustin
broke a rib.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if he came back with a broken rib.
Not at all surprised. Looked great. I mean,
definitely.
He was tagging him. I mean, there was a hit in the first round where Dustin's hand flew up in the air and he was way off balance. But man,
we would have a different narrative right now if Conor was checking leg kicks. I would not doubt it one bit. The narrative would have been completely different. And that isn't to take anything away from Dustin, because Dustin has looked phenomenal since he's moved up to 155.
Oh,
and he definitely can let his hands go, and he knows how to take a punch. That is just to say you can't take anything away from Conor. A lot of people like to give Conor shit because they act like he's a part-time fighter, or he's a shit. But he is he's legitimately one of the best fighters on the planet, one of the best fighters in the division, and again, nothing away from Dustin whatsoever.
There's a lot of different arguments that can be made right here. First of all, Dustin came out and he had the game plan. When he was starting to take damage, he did put Conor up against the cage. They kind of worked it out, but Conor came out on top on that. And but of course, like I said, it was all a matter of timing and wearing him down and slowing him down. And Dustin might have had the right game plan here. Conor, obviously, he did not check leg kicks in enough time.
Yeah.
You could see he was trying to. In fact, there was a couple times where he caught his leg.
And landed a couple of
kicks and stuff like that, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah.
And man, that one point, that knockdown where he's tagging Conor and Conor went to go throw a punch, and you could tell because he was just that much slower, Dustin had already hit the angle, and as he came down, he caught him with an uppercut, standing to his right. And just caught Conor with an uppercut and dropped him.
Yeah.
And man, everybody was shocked. Now I got to say, for the crowd, it was beautiful. The crowd was singing.
Yeah.
They were cheering on Conor and booing Dustin as they came to the ring. It was incredible. We had a crowd, and it was fun to hear, and they were exciting and cheering on the crowd. And when that knockdown and the knockout happened, that crowd lit up. They could not believe it. I still can't believe it. He was speechless, and we just all could not. Man, hats off to Dustin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, now the lightweight division that we were just talking about has become that much more muddled.
I know. Like I said, I don't want to see Dustin and
Justin too.
Yeah, I don't want to see Poirier and Gaethje go at it. I'd like to see Gaethje probably take on like Oliveira, and maybe see Poirier take on Chandler. I think that would be something even better. Give Poirier something, hey, you actually have to prove against another contender. Mainly just because Poirier's already lost so much at the title scene. Like he showed up to the title room and they were like, nope, already been denied twice. So I think that's why I have a hard time seeing the UFC want to push him back up to it. Obviously, from Dustin's point of view, he probably feels like he deserves it. But again, at the same point too, if Conor would have won this, I think Conor off of name recognition would have gotten a title shot, but only because of his name recognition. It wouldn't have been because he beat Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
Dustin, I feel out of the three with Poirier, Gaethje, and Khabib, Dustin is obviously the low man on the totem pole.
Oh, obviously.
So he's the gatekeeper into
155 wrong.
Yeah. So, and Oliveira is red hot.
Man.
And I don't know how you could say he doesn't deserve it. Obviously, Michael Chandler was very impressive tonight, and I think him and Poirier would put on a great show.
Him or against Justin Gaethje.
Yeah,
I like Michael Chandler now to take either one of those on.
I mean, he was,
and whoever he doesn't take on, Charles or Oliveira can take on the next one.
Yeah,
and then you know what, and then come get Khabib.
Absolutely,
come get Khabib. Hopefully tonight, Khabib said he wanted to see something special. Maybe he saw it in Chandler.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to do Dustin again. I can
Poirier did say that him and McGregor were 1-1. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprised if you booked the trilogy.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Since Khabib's status is so up in the air, maybe you book that. There's just like a little spot for some passing time. Neither guy really took a whole bunch of damage. Conor wasn't knocked out, like unconscious. He definitely did get knocked down. But you could definitely tell a lot of that was due to the fact that his leg was extremely weak.
Yeah, he was slowed down, and that's what took its toll on him.
So that was it. That was UFC 257.
Wow, man, some
card.
ups and downs. Something that we weren't expecting, and some things that we were.
Well, only one thing I wasn't expecting.
I was totally off tonight. Wow. The women put on better fights than we were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
Chandler was as good as advertised by me. So
Otman Ezatar, you screwed up an entire card.
You're now the new Tito Ortiz. So congratulations. By that I just mean Dana hates you. So, but looking forward, I mean, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. On February 13th, we got Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns.
Okay, and wasn't that when during the pandemic time when we were trying to find like 7 different fights for Kamaru Usman to fight?
And then in March we actually have double pay-per-views with Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz, and
oh my God, we're gonna get a super fight.
Yes, and that will be for the 205 strap. That'll be on March 6th, and then March 27th. It was just announced today. We will get Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou 2.
Oh man. Okay. So yes.
Keep an eye.
We are. Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about, Joe. We are going to go broke in March. I'm going to have to give you a lot of money for that one. Shoot.
It is definitely. It's getting exciting. So again, hope you guys enjoy this. Please like and subscribe. All my links will be down below. So that's it for me, and we're signing off. So
all right, take care.
Peace.